Hello everyone and welcome once again to my channel. Today's recipe is going to be delicious tacos with a chimichurri sauce. So come along and I'll show you exactly how to make them. So to start with, we're gonna make our chimichurri sauce. And it's really simple, it doesn't take many ingredients, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. I'm gonna use 5 cloves of garlic. You can use 3 to 4 if you want, but I'm using 5. I'm also adding 3/4 cup of flat leaf Italian parsley. And I'm using 1 Anaheim chili, and this one's a red chili. You can use whatever chili that you want to use in this recipe. I just found an Anaheim chili that was red. I like the red just because it gives it a pop of color. I'm also removing the seeds, or some of the seeds from the chili. You can leave the seeds if you want to. I'm just removing some of them just so I don't have a lot of seeds in the sauce. Next, 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of coarse salt. I'm using pink Himalayan salt, but you can use whatever salt that you want really. And 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. Ideally, it would be red wine vinegar, but I don't have any red wine, so I'm just using white wine. And then pepper to taste. Now I'm just going to put everything in the food processor and I'm just going to chop it up. You can do the chopping by hand. I have a food processor and it just makes everything easier, so I'm just using that. But I'm also adding a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and I'm making sure to scrape all the sides, or the lid and the sides of the bowl, just to make sure that all the ingredients get incorporated properly. After you're done processing your sauce, it's going to end up looking like this. You don't want it to be completely pureed. You want it to have texture. That's the whole point of a chimichurri sauce. So I'm just going to put it in a bowl, and then we're just going to set it aside and get our meat ready. Here I have almost 2 pounds of flank steak, and I'm just putting it in a baking dish. I'm going to season both sides with garlic powder. I'm also going to season it with some cumin, both sides, some ground black pepper, and also salt. And all of this, you're going to season it to taste. If you like it a little bit saltier, you add more salt. If you want a lot of seasoning, you can add more seasoning. You can change the seasonings up. You don't have to do these exact seasonings. Then to bring this seasoning to the next level, we're gonna add some chimichurri sauce to the meat. That way it bakes and the meat gets penetrated by this delicious chimichurri sauce. And I'm just adding 1 tablespoon to one side and then another tablespoon to the other side. This is how your meat is going to end up looking after you spread and massage your chimichurri sauce into it. I'm going to cover it and I'm going to bake it at 450 degrees for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. You can also cook this in an Instapot, which will reduce the time. Our steak is finally done and is soft and tender enough to pull it apart with a fork, and look how yummy it looks. It looks dry, but once you start shredding it, it's super moist inside. And look how nice and tender it just falls apart with your fork. It's perfect. And the good thing about this is that you don't have to shred it if you don't want to. You can also chop it up, or you can shred it and then chop it up. It's honestly up to you. For tortillas, you can definitely make homemade tortillas, which is totally the best way to go. But for a quick and easy dinner night meal, I'm just using pre-made tortillas, and I'm using my favorite brand. These are not sweet tortillas. Although you can use flour tortillas if you want. Those are totally fine. If you don't like regular corn tortillas like these are, you can definitely use flour tortillas. The brand that I'm using is called La Casera, La Banderita. And these are one of my favorite tortillas because they're not sweet. And I just have my pan on medium and I'm just warming the tortillas through. I'm not, toasting them or anything, just warming them through to make them pliable. Now it's time to make our taco, and I have the tortilla here, and I'm just going to add some meat to the tortilla, and then I'm just going to put it with all my favorite toppings to eat these tacos with. I'm going to put some chimichurri sauce on top, which is delicious. I mean, believe me, you will definitely want this sauce on all the tacos that you eat from now on. I'm also going to put some pickled red onions on top, and also some chopped up cilantro, but you can put other toppings. You don't have to follow these exact toppings that I'm using. These are just my favorite toppings. So now for the taste. Here's our taco. As you can see, it looks so yummy. All right, let's give this a bite. That is so good. You literally are not lacking anything. Normally with a taco, you would squeeze on some lime, which you can still do, but this taco has enough acidity from the chimichurri sauce and also your pickled onions. It is so delicious. I mean, the flavor in your meat, believe me, you will be making these tacos as often as you can. All right guys, so as you could tell, this recipe was super easy. It takes no time to put everything together. The thing that takes the longest is for the meat to cook. It took about 2 hours to cook, but that's what you want because you want your meat to be fall apart tender. Other than that, everything else was zippy and it was done. So this is it for today's recipe, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed making these delicious chimichurri tacos with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.